Moresa of Kenya goes in 4. Watch him. Big talent is Moresa. Anthony Cox of Jamaica in 5. The Australian Steve Solomon goes in 6. Solomon, very experienced racer. Harun Adoli in 7 of Uganda. Botswana's Pasela is the reigning world under-20 champion in lane 8. And Duben Amene of Nigeria goes on the outside. Well, there is Amene. He wouldn't be, I suspect, too happy with that lane draw. Second in his heat in 46.77. He has gone over a second quicker than that this year. This is the Botswana, and they have won in each of these 3 semi-finals. They had a 1-2 back in 2018 in the final. Anthony Pasela, world under-20 champion. He's only 20 now. Fastest in the field, by the way. Set his personal best when he won that World Junior title in Nairobi last year. Harun Adoli of Uganda, second in his heat in 46.38. He's never broken 46 seconds. Steve Solomon of Australia, a semi-finalist in the Olympics last year. He was second in his heat here in 45.98. Very experienced athlete. Anthony Cox of Jamaica, 4th in the World Youth back in 2017. And in the heats in Eugene for Jamaica. 4th leg for them, but they didn't get out of the heats. Boniface Moresa of Kenya, 5th in the world indoors back in 2016. 45.01 his best. Now would be a good time to go a little bit quicker. And for St. Lucia, Michael Joseph goes in lane 3. 47.08 in his heats. He can go much faster than that. He's a 45.6 performer. And then Kyle Gale for Barbados goes on the inside. 46.66 for 4th place in his heat. He won't be too happy with that lane 2 draw. I suspect the bend's a little bit tighter. They slow you a little bit. 5 of the 8 in this first semi-final, though, have set personal bests this year. Anthony Pasela of Botswana is such a huge talent. 44.58 to win that World Under-20 title last year, as we see Steve Solomon of Australia settle into his blocks. He's many time a semi-finalist in major global championships. Actually finished 7th back in 2018 over 1 lap on the Gold Coast. Solomon, his best is 44.9. Now, who can judge this the best? Who can finish with something in hand and give themselves a good chance of a medal in the final? Only the first 2 go through by right, so there isn't a great deal of room for error. You need to be in the first 2. Lovely smooth running from the Kenyan Moresa. There in the centre of picture, just sheltering the Jamaican yellow vest of Anthony Cox. And he possibly leads at the moment. Good running too from the St. Lucia athlete inside him in the light blue vest, Michael Joseph. Big fella, moving well around the first 300, but now Moresa begins to dig deep. So is Steve Solomon going to have to do that if he wants to get there, and he's not going to do it. And coming through the Ugandan, the big Ugandan, Harun Adoli, with a fabulous run, and he's going to take this one. Very close at the front end there. Boy, oh boy, what a finish from Adoli. 45.81. That is a lifetime best. His first time under 46 seconds. What a run from the 27-year-old. I thought Boniface Moresa had it sewn up, but he was run down. I think Anthony Cox was 3rd, but only the first 2 go through by right. 45.80 for Harun Adoli of Uganda. He goes through to the final. Moresa of Kenya does as well. 45.85 in 2nd.
Well, I have to say, that was one of the messiest 400-metre semi-finals I've ever seen from several athletes there, Tim. In terms of how they ran it, the Kenyan Moresa, we'll see on the replay, was absolutely flying around the first 120. Then he consolidated massively down the back straight. Then he went again. Meanwhile, the Botswanan Pasela in lane number 8 was going nicely. Now he's chilling a little bit, and then he goes again. And in the middle of that was the Ugandan here. Look at the tall figure on the outside. Their national champion this year, running 46.38, and as you say, gritting his teeth, getting himself into that top 2 position. The Kenyan held on well in the end. He was puffing out his cheeks a bit, but he got the automatic qualifying spot under 46 seconds as well. It was a good race though, wasn't it? I did enjoy it massively. It was just unpredictable.
I was going to say, you know, 45.8, not supremely fast, but the fact is, what a brilliant race it was, and a lot of changing of positions. It's like a middle distance race as they come down the home straight here. The Australian Steve Solomon going backwards. He ends up in 4th place, 46.30. Anthony Cox, the Jamaican, just run out of an automatic spot. His time in 3rd, 45.98. It's going to be very, very tight indeed. See if he can get a non-automatic qualifying spot.
But yeah, look how tight it is with our overhead camera. You can see the whites of the Ugandan's teeth there. Lifetime best performance, a dip finish ahead of the Kenyan. Very, very enjoyable, as you say. Cox, 45.98, Solomon, 46.30. They will wait and see. How entertaining, super soft. And it's just past 9 o'clock here at local time. It is chilly. The temperature's dropped to 15, 16 degrees. What a great slow-mo that is. We'll see him back in the final.
Absolutely right, yeah. Giving it all. It's smiling and grimacing at the same time there. Aaron Adoli, a surprise winner of that first semi-final of 3 in the men's 400, 45.80, a personal best for him. Boniface Moreza goes through by right as well for Kenya, 45.85.
And in 6, Samu Conga ran himself to a standstill to break 45 seconds in the heat. What on earth is he going to do in the semi? This is very high quality, this one. 3 men in this field have gone inside 45 this season. Michael Francois, Grenada on the outside, national champion over the 4 and the 800. PB in the heats, watch for his strength down the last 50 if it gets tight. Danny Geldenhuis, 3rd in heat 1. Semi-finalist in the African Championships this year, the Namibian. And now to this very exciting talent, Jonathan Jones, World Junior finalist back in 2018, made the final over 400 at the Worlds in Eugene, and he ran a fabulous relay leg this morning, as did this fella. Mazala Samu Conga was taken away from the finish line after that 44.89 in a wheelchair. We weren't sure we'd see him in the relay or in this competition. He goes in 6. This is Ngozi of Botswana. He made the African Championship final earlier this year. And then to Javon Powell, silver medalist in Eugene in the 4x4. 2nd in heat 5, and he made 46.14. Looked very easy indeed. Joseph Breyer, 4th in the national championships. The World Junior bronze in the 4x4. The Welshman getting good support by the British crowd. And Adeyemi on the inside, 4x4 bronze in the African Championships in Mauritius. Lane 1 is empty, but he is on the inside in lane 2. Well, this is really, really high quality. Adeyemi of Nigeria in 2, Breyer, Wales in 3, Powell, who's gone 44.87, that PB in the USA, in 4, Ngozi of Botswana, an Olympic bronze medalist in the 4x4 in 5, Samu Conga, there he is, 44.89. He ran like a man possessed in the heat. Jonathan Jones, the brilliant 400-800 runner for Barbados, outside him in 7. Geldenhuis, Namibia, 8. Francois Grenada in 9. Samu Conga in 6, Jones in 7. The favourites here. This could be fast. Only the top 2 coming back for the final. Well, Samu Conga running on the outside of his lane, but he's being put under pressure here by Ngozi. The Botswanan has gone off pretty hard as Powell floats his way down the back straight. 3rd from the right-hand side, the Jamaican. Geldenhuis on the left has gone past Francois of Grenada, but watch for Jonathan Jones, 3rd from the left-hand side. Now the 800-metre strength begins to come to the fore. He's running towards the inside of his lane. Powell, the Jamaican, is going well, and no move yet from Samu Conga. Has he got anything left? Now the Zambian begins to come through. Jonathan Jones and Samu Conga are the 2 qualifiers for the final, with Powell run out of it in 3rd, and he might not make it with that non-automatic time. I really like this guy. He's a great combination runner over 1 and 2 laps. There was a little bit of histrionics going on elsewhere. He wasn't interested. 45.82. Samu Conga came charging through the field, but not for a sub-45, but it was good enough for a place in the final. He always seems to grimace and look like he's in a great deal of pain, but he has made it to the final. Powell will have to wait and see.
I agree with you, Charlie, about Jonathan Jones. He's a lovely, smooth-looking runner, and he hardly broke sweat there. He walks way off the line, looking very, very calm and untroubled indeed. Quite a contrast to Simukonga, who comes through very late. I mean, he's virtually in last place coming off the bend. There he is in that dark green strip for Zambia. But again, look at the head bobbing to desperation, the arms pumping hard. What a contrast to Jonathan Jones in that lovely yellow and blue strip of Barbados. He is so smooth. Simukonga comes through for second place, the 19-year-old. What a raw talent he is. But the Barbadian, Jonathan Jones, as smooth as mercury there through the last 100 metres. Very, very calm. Wow.
I was looking at this guy's stats before I went to Eugene, and I was really excited to see him run. Big breakthrough making that World Championship final. I know he didn't get a medal, as Sade Williams, his compatriot, did in the women's 400 metres for Barbados, but yeah, I'm glad you're impressed with him, Tim. I've been excited by this Barbadian for quite a while. Powell started to get a little bit tight, and by the way, 46.40, he is not in a non-automatic spot. Those two times still belonging to Cox and Solomon in the first of the semi-finals. What a fascinating final in prospect. Jonathan Jones of Barbados is in the final, so too Simukonga. Powell of Jamaica will miss out.
Lineup. Nathan Allen of Jamaica in 5, impressive in qualifying. Matthew Hudson-Smith, the world bronze medalist a couple of weeks ago from England, starts in lane number 6. So, lane number 9, Alonzo Russell of the Bahamas. In his 3rd Commonwealth Games, born in Freeport, was a semi-finalist at the Olympics last year. Just outside 45 seconds of his best back in 2016. Asa Guevara of Trinidad and Tobago. He'll start in lane number 8. Another athlete just outside 45 seconds. Nyongo Scotch of Botswana, bang on the 45 seconds for his lifetime best. A semi-finalist at the Olympics last year, starts in lane number 7. And then we'll listen to the roar for England's Matthew Hudson-Smith. The Birchfield Harrier on his home track. The world bronze medalist and UK record holder goes in lane number 6. Nathan Allen of Jamaica starts in 5. Was 5th at the World Championships in this event back in 2017. Is a 44.13 runner. Samson Nathaniel from Nigeria, semi-finalist the Commonwealth Games back in 2018, starts in lane number 4. Kennedy Lachembe of Zambia, the semi-finalist at the World Junior Championships in 2018. The 21-year-old starts in lane number 3. And completing the lineup in the 3rd semi-final, Kamaraga of Sri Lanka, 45.73. Just shy of that this season by about 1/10.5. There's the current qualifying times for the non-automatic qualifiers, Cox and Solomon. In those 2 spots, as it stands, with one more semi-final to come, and Matthew Hudson-Smith in his 3rd Commonwealth Games now. The 27-year-old starts in lane number 6, 44.35 this year. Keep your eyes on Allen, though, the Jamaica in 5. Scotch ran in the 4x4 heats this morning. There he is, the Botswanan in lane number 7. The final semi-final of the men's 400 metres. And the roar goes up around Alexander Stadium. Hudson-Smith, it's pretty even, isn't it, over the first 100 metres? Allen, the Jamaican, moving nicely in lane number 5. Guevara of Trinidad and Tobago going well in lane number 8. But apart from the athlete in lane 8, there's no real move here by anybody. But this is where you put your foot down in a 400, between 200 and 300 metres. Guevara of Trinidad and Tobago moving very nicely. Matthew Hudson-Smith making his move. The volume goes up in Alexander Stadium. Keep your eye on Allen, the Jamaican. But Matthew Hudson-Smith, a world bronze medalist now, wins the 3rd semi-final, 45.78. And the job is done for the English athlete. A UK record in Eugene of 44.35. He took 1/100th of a second off Ewan Thomas's British record that has stood for 25 years. He said, that monkey's off my back, now I'm going to get going and win medals. And now he's got himself in to the Commonwealth final here in Birmingham.
He certainly has. He was sticking out that barrel chest. He played a patient game. Scotch was trying to get himself in the shake-up. I think he had to work reasonably hard for that, Matthew Hudson-Smith. The Trinidadian really put everything on the line, Guevara, and it was inevitable that the lactic acid, talking about the Trinidadian, just on the left of picture there, running second from the outside. He could tell that Hudson-Smith was coming as Nathan Allen came past him as well for the second automatic spot. And Scotch, who came through for third for Botswana, will just miss out. So Cox of Jamaica and Solomon of Australia from the first of the semis will take the two non-automatic spots. But maybe, you know, looking at the three semi-finals, Catherine, it could be Jonathan Jones of Barbados against Hudson-Smith, and Jones did not win a medal in that World Championship final. Hudson-Smith may well line up as the favourite to take this title on his home track. What a story that would be.
Well, and justifiably so. When in the last few weeks you've won an individual World Championship medal, that's the pressure and expectation that comes for us athletes. And as you can see, Hudson-Smith here had a little grimace, didn't he, as he went into the home straight there. He saw the Trinidad and Tobago athlete outside him, but had a glance up at the screen then. And there is pressure, there is expectation, and that is what Matthew Hudson-Smith has to deal with now. Not just because he's a world individual medalist, but as you say, Rob, because it's on his home track in Birmingham.
And how do you think, you know him quite well, you've spent a lot of time with him, how do you think he will cope with being the favourite and being up against somebody of the quality of Jonathan Jones of Barbados, who is also on an upward trajectory this season? How will that sit with him psychologically between now and the final?
Because he won an individual medal in Eugene quite comfortably. His confidence is high. He's had a lot of injury problems. He's had a lot of changes in the last couple of years. He's happy, he's settled, and this is the best he's ever been running. And it's going to be a brilliant final on Sunday morning at 11:15. That is another factor that these athletes have to deal with. They've got to factor that in from now, because we don't often have sprint finals in a morning session at a major championships.
But it could well be warmer than it was running this evening at 9:30 in the evening into a blustery wind.
It's not the warmth, it's the time that's the killer for many athletes, his sprinters especially. But we will see, because there's the result of semi-final number 3. England's Matthew Hudson-Smith automatically through. Nathan Allen as well, the Jamaican, under 46 seconds. And it will be a good final, and one that the English fans are looking forward to.
They certainly will. The sun has set as we edge towards the end of the 4th day. But as Catherine was saying, when we come back on Sunday, this is what the morning final will look like.